The Union.
Yo, what is the deal? It is AJ here with DJ Larry. It's episode 84 of Mid Carter's and Catering Podcast, coming to you live from the North Pole.
Damn near from the doctor's office.
Right. But yeah, man, we here, man. We good. We chilling. We're back again. Another wonderful episode. Larry, what's the deal with you, bro?
Oh man, look, you know how we doing mid cards, man. Even if it's a crazy week or things that took place, we always make sure we give our best effort. So I'm gonna give you your applause right now for doing the best right now. You know, could have just been like fuck this episode, but hey, we here. Came off a birthday over the weekend, man. So.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Larry, man. It's another year around the sun. Another year around the sun for Larry. Happy belated to you, brother.
Yeah, I saw your IG story post too. It was pretty fun.
Oh yeah. Of course, man. Of course, I had to break out one of my favorite photos of us. So you know what I mean.
I got you.
Hey man, it's the only way. Hey, look, if I didn't care about you, bro, I wouldn't do these things. But it is what it is. But I hope you did enjoy your birthday. I hope that you
I did.
It was in the way that you.
It was chill, and I actually brought it in a wrestling way. Funny enough. So So shout out to all the homies. I kicked it with for a birthday and shit. And one thing that was pretty funny about that time period was that I kicked it with my homie. Shout out to David. Shout out to Caesar, Mariana, and a few other homies. But yes, and my camera went out on me because this thing's acting weird. But I officially have one of these now. You guys aren't seeing this. Yeah, but and this thing is tight as hell, like to say the least. But again,
like you stole it from Axiom.
I look like Axiom with this on. Funny enough, like that is the thing. Like so listen, just let me be. The legend of Negro Black Ass is on the way. I have a picture of me in the mask. I'm trying to get pulled up right now, but my computer is acting funny, so just give me just a second. But yeah, that's how I spent my birthday, just chilling. But yeah, it was pretty chill though. I didn't do nothing crazy.
So for your birthday, they was like, yo, let's pony up and get Larry a lucha mask.
No,
he likes wrestling.
No, it didn't even happen like that. Crazy enough, we were talking about just like Mexico and stuff like that, and I told the homie, I was like, my homie Caesar, I was like, yo, I've seen the mask before because he posted on his Instagram and things like that, and he was like, oh, let me go get it. So he gave it. I just held it. I was like, wow. I'm looking at like the detail behind all this, like I can see where like the eyes are and shit like that. And the first thing that came to mind, because it's gold and like the style of the mask, I was like, dog, this looks like some Axiom shit. Like it literally looks like Axiom's mask. And then it's funny because we really forget that it's really just a kid under that damn mask. So yeah, so that's what made it funny. And then literally when I was about to go, they were like, oh yeah, happy birthday, Larry. And he was like, oh yeah, here you go. I was like, really? It's like, nah, man. He was like, nah, man, it's all good, bro. I was like, so I had to say like, are you sure, like 10 times. And he was like, yeah, no worries. So yeah,
we're waiting for the debut of Coffee El Block.
Of Negro Black Ass, yes. So yeah, shout out to them. The episode we did on Show Your Work just dropped too. So y'all check that out on the Patreon, patreon.com/SYWNET.
Yep.
But yeah, shout out to Caesar, shout out to Mariana, shout out to the homie Mala Leche. Like I said, the last episode we did just dropped. So patreon.com/SYWNET. It's only $3. We watched the Yacht Rock documentary on HBO, and gave our thoughts about it. And by the time you're hearing this, Nelson put together a wonderful playlist that goes with that episode. It's very extensive, but you're gonna be glad that you check that out. So we need that good old fashioned, as me and Van like to call it, Blanco music. Check out that playlist, man. So again, big shout out to them, man. But yeah, that's how I spent my Saturday night, bro. I was just chilling, and they're down the street from me, so I was like, oh, okay, bet. Drove up and we just kicked it. Planned out some things for 2025, so stay tuned. And yeah, pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's dope, man. That's really dope that you were able to have that and celebrate your birthday that way and able to get off some content at the same time.
Oh
So
yeah,
definitely, man. And whole lot of content just dropping and just out there in the streets right now.
yeah.
This past last week, the watch along you held with our good friends Donnie Lucci and Troy Cameron. Y'all watched the Wrestle Kingdom 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's out on Patreon right now. So you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, tap into that
Yep.
as well too. But yeah, man.
And more stuff on the way for that lovely Mid-Cards Patreon. But y'all got to keep this going. Please make sure you go to patreon.com/MIC podcast and pay that lovely $3 because we have other content loaded up, done, ready to go. But we just, we appreciate all the continued support, and the Patreon has been doing quite well, I must say.
Yeah, it has, man. Especially with the the early access and everything else that's been
Mm-hmm.
going on Patreon as well too. And also shout out to all the new people that have joined up on the Patreon since the new year and everything of that matter. Like shout out to y'all.
Hey man.
And hey, they're enjoying it. They're enjoying it, and
Hey.
those people that have not fully converted over yet, you know what I'm saying, soon come,
Hey
and tell a
man.
friend and tell a friend.
You got in-depth commentary. You got, when you want to sit back and laugh, you got Radio MIC. You got, with Luchador Mount Rushmore, we go back into the history books, but we also touch on some current things as well that's outside of the norm of what we talk about here on the main episode. So I just say keep tapping in, checking out what we got, man. It's a lot of content, and you are well fed from the mid-cards and catering for that $3. So tap in, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so we getting a few housekeeping things out the way before we really tap into this episode, tap into this news, tap into like the break, the weekly breakdown and everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's we're frozen. We're frozen up north. We're very frozen. Climate is crazy right now, but we making our way through. You know what I'm saying, and soon enough it'll be nice and warm again. It's just that we gotta go through this before we get there. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all that's been going on with me on my end. Just enjoying some of this good wrestling, this good talk, and everything in that matter. We do have a few things coming up on the union end of things. I'm not going to like formally announce those things yet, but just stay tuned for February because we have a really nice loaded February for all of you and your viewing and listening pleasure as well. But we have a lot. We got a lot to cover today. We got a lot to cover today, newsworthy wise. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Get to it, man.
Mid Carters and Catering Patreon is live and direct with exclusive access to the Union Discord and loads of extra content like Radio MIC, Luchador Mount Rushmore, and Icon. Beginning only at $3. Subscribe today.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. I knew it. I love when he does that.
Yo.
What's crazy is that it's not really a bunch of bad news, really. Like
Unless you work for one company, yeah. But other than that,
yeah, we know whatever. But what
but that's
news
the
ever
norm with
changes over
that.
there?
Yeah, that's the
Exactly. That's
norm.
pretty much the
So,
norm.
yeah.
But to get off to something that's quite exciting to come, um, especially when with we're dealing with a somewhat of a really hot debut in WWE, and we'll get to that in momentarily. But uh, Backlash, WWE Backlash, supposedly, we don't really, nothing's been completely confirmed on this yet, but there is some nice marketing going on around this.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off with Bad Bunny, quiet as it kept, leaking out information in terms of Backlash and Backlash's location. We all know that Backlash pretty much is the first PLE following WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Um, and finally, it seems that we are going to take place live in Mexico City this year. Um, Something that a lot of us have been looking forward to. I'm sure our good fans on the Mexico side of the border has been looking forward to WWE tapping back in and holding some events down that way. But yes, it seems that Backlash is headed to Mexico City. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this will probably be like maybe late May, because WrestleMania is going to be it's so late this time.
Yes.
So
Miss right. When is
yeah,
Easter this year?
Easter is 420,
That late?
420,
Wow.
421. Yep.
It's so I don't know how they determine that because it's so weird. Because like next year it's going to be April 5th, and then the year after that it's going to be
Sometimes it's in
March
March.
March 28th. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't know who the Easter committee is for that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes it falls that way, but yeah, man, we got Backlash taking off. I mean, like we said, probably like mid to late
May.
May. But yes, something to really look forward to. It wasn't just Bad Bunny who showed this. I think also, I almost said Roxanne Perez, Raquel Gonzalez,
Yeah.
Raquel Gonzalez.
Hmm.
Is she Raquel Rodriguez right now? Can't remember. Um,
Rodriguez Gonzalez was
Rodriguez Gonzalez.
Gonzalez was the NXT name,
Right.
but
But yeah,
but we might have got that mixed up. But y'all, you know who we're talking
y'all
about.
know who we talking about. But she
Y'all
also
know.
kind of leaked it out too. So um
Yeah.
that this was happening. So um really, really looking forward to this. I'm sure this is gonna be very, very Rey Mysterio heavy.
Oh yeah.
Along with our good friend that just debuted, Penta. Penta is probably gonna
Cero
be a
Cero Miedo, my brother.
yeah, he's probably going to be a really big part of this festivities as well too. Also, Dragon Lee. It's just
Hmm.
it goes on and on and on. The different
Hmm.
talents that's probably going to be really involved with Backlash 2025. So that's going to be really fun. Looking forward
Uh,
to it.
um, the thing is, it's weird because we truly don't know what our PLE schedule is going to look like until they announce it, like
Hmm.
officially. Because I know Nick Khan just did a kind of like a quarterly meeting, and he announced that there will be another Paris International PLE this year. That's been confirmed. I want to say that they're doing something in London again too, but we will see. I know they're going over there for the international tour in March, which will be right after Elimination Chamber, which takes place in Toronto, because that's John Cena's last time in Toronto. So it's looks like we're going to kind of get the same model we've been getting the last couple of years post Mania. It's all international PLEs, and then we're back in the US heavy for SummerSlam in August, and then which this will be a 2-day SummerSlam, so that'll be in New York, so that'll be interesting. But I'm very excited for Mexico. I mean, it's kind of crazy. We've never had a premium pay-per-view live event in Mexico, especially considering the rich history there. So hopefully we get more of that, but it's going to be big even for the ones that aren't technically Mexican. It's still a Latino pay-per-view. I mean, we saw what Puerto Rico did, so I can only imagine what Mexico is going to do. So even for, you know, Stephanie Vaquer, who's Chilean, and, you know, others that may not be full-blooded Mexican, this is still such a huge thing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that pay-per-view PLE is headlined by like Ray versus Penta. I think they may hold that.
Oh man, that would be dope. That'd be really dope. And it can be just on the friendly type.
Yeah, it don't have to be no turn one person heel, none of that bullshit. Just literally straight up first time in WWE. Because don't get it twisted. You can show me footage of Penta and Ray on the indies, and that's great. But
you haven't seen it in WWE.
You haven't seen it with this level of presentation. So
So I don't give a damn if you showed them wrestling in the garage 10 years ago. I really don't care. I want to see it on WWE.
I want to see it. I want to see it in there. And also another big thing about that is WWE now more than ever has been doing so much more expansion as far as working with other promotions.
Mm-hmm.
So if they had a match or two on that card that was them with AAA, or even if there was an NXT AAA Worlds Collide kind of thing, I wouldn't be surprised at this point either, because, you know, they're going to definitely be there for the entire weekend, because you definitely getting a SmackDown live from Mexico City, and then probably going to get the PLE that Saturday. So, you know, sometimes they like to have those NXT PLEs on Sundays still. So we'll see. Yeah. We will see, but I will definitely be paying attention. And if the price is right, you never know. You never know. But shout out to my Luchador Mount Rushmore co-host Nelson. We looked at some of them ticket prices for CMLL. Very affordable.
So they got to be more affordable than what TKO is doing with WrestleMania. Because let me tell you something.
Man,
they got to have people taking out second mortgages for this WrestleMania.
They definitely are. My only comment to that is it's WrestleMania. Like, I mean,
hey, it's WrestleMania, but yeah, it is WrestleMania.
No. And listen, it's expensive. I'm not acting like it's just, you know, lightweight change. Not at all. However, I will say to people who are thinking about going, you got to remember, we're at the point now where WrestleMania used to just be national anthem, a shit ton of matches, and that was it. Now it's
a full-blown entertainment spectacle.
It's a whole entertainment spectacle.
2 nights of it.
2 nights, and then again,
the events surrounding WrestleMania too, like WWE World,
Fanatic World jump. Then you gotta think, if you saw Travis Scott at Raw, what makes you think you're not going to get something crazy at WrestleMania? I mean, even with SummerSlam, you saw Cardi B as the one to announce it. So it's like in Las Vegas, this is going to be a spectacle. And again, this is with the real driving point in the price, other than the product being as big as it is. This is John Cena's last WrestleMania for a long time, especially as an active performer. So they're gonna up the skull on these prices, man. Like it's crazy. So I mean, if you can't make it, I understand, but if you can make it, enjoy everything Vegas has to offer, man. But don't be showing up in Vegas with no yee ass fits though, man. Get your shit together. Like, act like you're supposed to be out there, man. Like, don't be scaring the hoes out there, bro. Get your shit together, man.
But also, speaking about partnerships, another breaking partnership while we were away, more so a re-upping of a partnership officially between WWE and TNA Wrestling. They announced a multi-year partnership aimed at creating unprecedented crossover opportunities within WWE and TNA programming for NXT superstars and TNA wrestling stars. So the crossover the biggest crossover of all crossovers is going to continue for multiple years. It just took off this past weekend at TNA Genesis, where we saw Joe Hendry become the TNA World Champion once again.
Finally
becomes the TNA World Champion. A person who must not be named also defeated Jordan Grace.
Indeed.
And on Jordan Grace's last night in TNA, and she is pretty much WWE bound at this point. But
absolutely.
You know, as we all pretty much assumed, you know, took pretty much a year. Took pretty much a year for her to finally make it over. But she did a lot of work on the NXT side in between all of that. So definitely shouts to her, and we should be seeing her number coming up soon in a Royal Rumble once again. Which we're only a few weeks away from it. Josh Alexander too.
Yeah, his contract comes up, so he'll be a free agent mid-February. Barring anything crazy, I don't see him not going to the WWE myself, but stranger things have happened, but we will see. But we'll see what happens with Josh Alexander along the way. But yeah, man, really exciting to see this partnership continue. I think it's been really cool on, you know, for both crossovers in terms of WWE and TNA. I do want y'all to stop the Hardys agenda, please. Like, just stop. Like, I don't care. I don't think anyone cares. Like, just stop it. They're TNA talents. They're gonna, and if you haven't noticed, that partnership was between NXT and TNA. So don't get too excited and thinking you're going to be seeing TNA people pop up on main roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, just relax. And if it happens, you know what I'm saying? If some of their top talent shows up, then that's cool. But like, remember, this is mainly for NXT. So yeah, I mean,
keep your expectations low.
Yeah, keep your expectations low. I think the Hardys popping up is literally just to put over the young guys, the next generation. Which, I mean, I'm okay with that, but like, don't let Jeff Hardy in these interviews fool y'all, bro. Like, Jeff is just talking, bro. And crazy enough, they're doing, I don't know if you saw this today, but they just announced they're doing a live taping at Full Sail next month. So they're actually live taping, and it's going to be live, which they normally tape everything. So I think it's good for both, because there are some talents in NXT that, I think I've said this on the episode before, but in the past they've had to go and do some other things outside of NXT to get a little steam behind them. I mean, I remember the Street Profits had to go to Evolve and get over there to really develop the Street Profits we saw for years. But it took them leaving, because at the time NXT was so heavy with Undisputed Era and Gargano and Ciampa and, you know, the Revival and those tag teams they had. So they had to leave for a little second. So TNA can definitely be a spot where it benefits them by getting WWE talent on their programming who are either NXT talent or just lower card WWE vets, you know, putting over new talent. And I mean, shit, TNA already has multiple former WWE talents over there that left on good standing. So I mean, it only made sense. It's not like TNA is fuck WWE, the company. So no, it made sense to make this partnership happen. So I'm excited to see where it goes for, and who knows? I mean, pretty sure we'll probably start seeing more TNA talent over time as their contracts expire. That will naturally progress to WWE. I think me and you talked about Alex Hammerstone for sure. It's a few, but we'll see. I'm excited for the product. So it's a good time to be a wrestling fan for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And also, speaking of another promotion, and another talent that might be showing up when a number is pulled, in February at the Royal Rumble, Malachi Black is reportedly finished with AEW. Malachi Black, formerly Aleister Black in NXT. It looks like he's finished over in AEW. It's been rumored for quite some time. I want to say it's been going back for a few years, honestly, where he's been pretty much fed up with everything on that side.
Everything
I
and
can't even,
everybody.
everything and everyone, and he's just been buying his time. And it seems that he's finally been able to get his granted walking papers or finished up the current contract that he had. So I'm absolutely 100% going to assume that he's going to be returning home to WWE. And it seems like Malachi Black, I'm already jumping the gun there. Seems like Malachi Black is all, he's just a smudge of 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 a small smudge of like the general consensus of like certain talents over in AEW right now. Feeling a bit disgruntled and uncomfortable and unhappy with their current situations, especially witnessing a certain individual's presentation since he's joined WWE, how he's been presented very, very well. That being Penta, who we all know is Pentagon Jr. Penta El Mero or
Cero Miedo, no
Mero.
fear. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
We know that he was over in AEW before coming to WWE, and since coming to WWE, he's been shown to be larger than life, presented very, very well. Everybody's loving this, and it seems to be ruffling a few feathers over on the AEW side backstage, where people are wanting to have that same thing for themselves. So, I don't know.
There have been a few people who just so have happened to appear in AEW and then appear in WWE, but really, to me, this all kicks off for me when Cody came back in 2022.
Yeah, I want to say that's where it started.
Since Cody came back, the worst, and y'all can't see me because this is an audio only episode, but the worst, quote unquote, is literally Lexus King, formerly known as Brian Pillman Jr., right? But we all knew he was green and he needed work from the jump. That's why I said, quote unquote, worst. Other than that, they put Sean freaking Spears in the right position that he was supposed to be in, which I remember me and you had that conversation on here about that.
Yeah.
Ethan Page literally, my God, bro, one of the bright spots and things I wouldn't change about that NXT men's division. Like, he's been holding that shit down. He's doing, especially with the character work. Like, he's money. All right. You keep on going, even to the top with CM Punk. CM Punk, literally, it's night and day how he was in AEW and what he's now. And Cody is literally carrying the company. So if I'm over there and I'm seeing how Hunter is rewarding people who went and made a name for themselves and want to bring that name to WWE, why would I want to stay in a place where everything is just uncertain? We don't know what TV show you're going to be on. We don't know what segment's going to get cut because of this. It's just the locker room itself. So, I mean, I feel like Alistair definitely, and I'm calling him Alistair because he seems WWE bound, and why wouldn't you want to be bound where your presentation was its best and you're with your wife and your friends, and why wouldn't he be back? So
yeah,
it just seems like he wanted to truly give AEW a chance, but it's just weird because they had him in trios
Yeah,
They
stuck
didn't
in
want
trios the entire time.
they
Actually,
didn't want to have him in singles. Then there was like, oh, he doesn't want a job. But then he came out and was like, that's nowhere near the case. I'm gonna tell you though, that I don't know who it's gonna be, but whether it's Helwani, whether it's Chris Van Fleet, that first Alistair Black, Tommy End interview post AEW, oh boy.
yeah, that's going to be something. I mean, between him, Ray Phoenix, it's going to be a lot
Starks.
of
Yeah,
a lot of
man.
Ricky Starks, a lot of talk, a whole lot of Britt Baker maybe.
Because remember,
Also,
he was that he was the one to pull Punk off Jungle Boy.
mm-hmm.
So he's got years of just
it's probably a whole lot of stuff, but also it's just there's the thing to remember that where there are people that want to leave AEW, there are people also that want to stay there, and there's also people in WWE that still will end up going to AEW at some point too. You never know. On that end, so it's just kind of like I wouldn't say like supremely top person from WWE going to AEW, no, but like those people kind of feeling lost in the shuffle, people kind of feeling like they're not,
they've hit their ceiling.
They hit a certain ceiling, and maybe they want to follow that same method of like going away to build themselves up to come back. You know what I'm saying? But along those lines, good luck when you dealing with those Tony contracts. But yeah, just know that there are people that actually do want to stay in AEW. Like your Adam Coles and everybody at that. Like,
I mean, even with Brody King and Buddy Matthews, like
Buddy Matthews is he read up last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So,
I mean there wasn't a. I mean, there's no place for Buddy right now, dog. Like
not really.
He can't unless he had a stable that he was in where he didn't have to talk as much. And yeah, he can wrestle a broomstick.
Yeah, he's just a wrestle ass person,
which is
not a character at all.
He'd have to redo his whole character. And the thing that I give WWE that nobody really wants to talk about is even guys who the Karrion Crosses, the Carmelo Hayes, a lot of guys in that mid card specifically, where Chad Gable, where sometimes people see them losing on TV and they're like, well, what's next for them? They're still, this is one of these times, like really since the early 2000s, where you can lose and still look really good as far as your presentation goes, and no one's really, the grand scheme of things, people aren't tripping. Like, people's time will come, whereas like 10 years ago, it's like, oh man. So we talk all the time about people saying that, oh, what if they were over here? I guarantee you Chad Gable is definitely happy that he stayed, got a brand new presentation, and is getting paid to do the job that he loves. So I'm not worried so much about that. I mean, if you want to go over there, cool. But I mean, we kind of figured this day was going to come. Once we saw those guys I mentioned earlier get their presentation and they're booked strong, it's not like they're being fed to anybody or they're, having to kiss the ring, as we like to say. Yeah, man, shit. I want to be on Netflix too. So, hey, it is what it is, man. But we'll see. But 2025 could be very similar to 2024 for WWE, where some of the lesser name talents that they sign end up becoming phenomenal stars. But we'll talk about one of those guys in particular later on when we get to This Week in Wrestling. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And getting past all of that, like I said before, Britt Baker was another name that I mentioned. According to Pro Wrestling Torch, she's being said to be widely unpopular in the women's locker room in AEW, to the point where one person has said that no one wants to see her come back. Do with that as you will. I don't know. I don't know Britt Baker's contract situation. I don't know, but again, it's just the foreshadow, a nice little tell all that may come later on down the line. I mean, hey man, I can't say I did not see this coming. Especially when a certain individual signed over there.
Even before that individual,
but I mean, even before that, going back to the Thunder Rosa days and everything of that matter. But I knew it would really, really rev up when a certain someone finally showed her head over in AEW. But hey, whatever. I'm just gonna leave that at that. Until we get a really full length story on like what's going on. That's just all I want to say on that part. We did bring up WrestleMania, but there is news about WrestleMania possibly next year. And the word is that New Orleans, who just got snow, wow, climate change is something else, isn't it?
Wild, wild to see snow on Bourbon Street, man.
On Bourbon Street, man. But New Orleans, who also has Super Bowl this year, is currently the front runner to host WrestleMania 42 next year. And Indianapolis, we all know, has a deal in place with WWE to host a WrestleMania, and they're saying WrestleMania 43 may be happening there.
Makes sense.
But yeah, which one makes sense in the grand scheme of things. So WrestleMania again, it's just been blessing New Orleans. I tell you, they love going down there.
It's funny. It's been a while. I mean, I know the pandemic years have been a blur, but 34 was the last one there, right?
Yeah, they had 34, 30. Yeah, 30, then they had 34. Now they're looking to have 42. So
so it's been a while. It's been a while, but it's also still
they might have been there the most in this era.
Because before it was New Orleans and Orlando that they just kept being like back and forth in between. So they have. So Indianapolis has had their Royal Rumble is this year. Their WrestleMania would potentially be 2027. And I'm imagining the year after that
they probably get their
SummerSlam, which was all that was axed up. They're not getting a Survivor Series. Yeah. The reason I say that is because we know for a fact Minnesota's getting SummerSlam in 2026. They've already announced that. And SummerSlam's New York this year. So I would be just highly shocked if they did SummerSlam. Like if they did WrestleMania and SummerSlam in Indianapolis, that would be hilarious. But I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. No.
They're gonna stretch that shit out.
Yeah.
So all that to be said is it makes sense because I know Nashville was up for consideration, but they're not done with that stadium yet. That stadium won't be done until sometime next year. So, I mean, realistically, where else in the U.S. could they do a WrestleMania that would be unique and interesting to you? I'm asking you personally, where do you think would be an interesting U.S. location for WrestleMania?
Well, I'm always going to choose Detroit.
Of course. Come on, dog. I mean, outside of the city, man.
I feel like they've been everywhere else. Like I don't think that. I feel like they've touched every single place. I think they just haven't. I think going back to Madison Square Garden again is probably something they haven't done in a long time. They have not done a WrestleMania in
they haven't done a WrestleMania
since 20.
They haven't done a WrestleMania in an arena, not a stadium, but in an arena since was it 30?
No, 30 was in the stadium. So, 30 was at the Superdome.
Whoa, the last arena one was probably it wasn't any of the Cena and Rock ones. I know that much.
No, No, Arena WrestleMania probably the last one probably was 20. Probably, yeah.
Well,
20 or
nah,
21.
I
Maybe
think
21.
I think 21 because I think that was at Staples.
That was at Staples Arena. But yeah. But I
Um,
say the Garden because I mean that's Madison Square
oh yeah,
Garden.
it's Madison Square Garden, but
And that would be a unique place. I know they usually would do it at MetLife or anything of that matter,
mhm.
but like if you ever wanted to do something unique once again to make a smaller scale one, then Madison Square Garden is there. But
Yeah, I'm just
uh
thinking city wise because I mean,
another city like I really don't Houston, WrestleMania in Houston because
well, we
they
haven't had it since 17, so
Dallas.
we just
Um,
had Dallas for 38. So
well, no, I'm saying they already had Dallas, so I think
actually, Houston was 25. Actually,
So 25.
25 was this was that was the first Shawn Taker match. That was Triple H and Randy Orton for the championship. That was where JBL retired. It was 2009. So
Yeah, so other than that, man, I really don't. Other than something outside of the U.S., I really don't have a
that's what I'm
specific
saying.
one like
That's
other
what I'm
than
saying.
the UK. But Detroit is going to be my. I think it's time to come back here. I
The
just think it
last
is.
arena WrestleMania is WrestleMania 22 at the
Mhm.
Rosemont. In Rosemont, at the Allstate Arena in Rosemont. So that's John Cena, Triple H, and that's Kurt Angle. That's when Rey Mysterio won the championship that year.
Mhm.
So, we've already seen MetLife, so that's done. It would have to be somewhere just random because Florida's been done to the like we've seen Tampa, Orlando, Miami, like we've seen everything in Florida. So, um, I do wonder how an Atlanta WrestleMania looks under TKO because the last time they did Atlanta was when that was Taker Sean retirement, like when Sean retired. So no, actually, no. It was after that. That was Taker Triple H one. That was Taker Triple H one. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's been a long time. So yeah, these make sense. I mean, I know some people thought London would be happening, but apparently they're supposed to be doing a big stadium Wembley show.
Mhm.
So I mean, but the thing about a Wembley show is it doesn't have to be one of the big four or anything like that. It can just be just an event there. So yeah. Um I'm not mad at New Orleans, man. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. And New Orleans in April, March, a great time to go post Mardi Gras. So it's funny. We were just talking about New Orleans in a personal conversation the other day, and then literally after that, this news came out. So hey, man, maybe we
Yeah.
kind of predict. Maybe they heard us and was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm.
Maybe. That.
Hey man, I may be at WrestleMania 42 with the pole boy. So hey man,
Word.
we'll
Word.
see.
Yeah, man. I think that was all of I had on the news tip. If there was anything else,
I
but it
only
seems
had
like there was something else.
only had one thing to say. I just want to say, shout out to booking a stadium show in Australia and
Oh, brother.
and not selling tickets, then going to an arena show in
It's
Australia,
still not selling tickets.
and also saying we're gonna air on TNT and then having to take your time slot off because you booked this show the day of All-Star Saturday night on TNT. Yeah. That might be the craziest tape delay of all time.
Oh yeah, that's coming on at like I don't know 2 a.m. probably. I want to say.
Well, the thing is they're talking about if they were smart, y'all got the simulcast with Max now. Simulcast that during the day when it's going on over there, and then just air the replay that night. Because otherwise, you're cooked. Because All-Star Saturday Night starts at like 8 o'clock my time, doesn't go off to like 10:30 my time. So you're looking at like an 11:30 show on the East Coast. Yeah, good luck, man. Swim good, bro.
Swim good.
Swim good, man. So yeah, fuck all that. But that's it.
Hey, that's it, man. Shout out to them and whatever plan they have going forward in terms of honestly, it's supposed to be like that one of their biggest shows of the year. But who knows?
I mean, just the ignorance to say we're gonna pull a stadium in Australia. And even it's a couple people that I follow on Twitter. One girl, I forget her name, but shout out to her. She even broke down how it just made no sense because it's not even a big company over there. But
hey man. what if they like be like, hey, WWE actually coming over here, and the whole time it's AEW, and then they get fooled and they're like, wait a minute, what the hell is this? I don't know, man.
Where's my fucking Rhea Ripley, Mike?
Right. But anyway, that was the news. Hey, now we got to talk a little bit of wrestling, and then we got to get up out of here.
So let's get it.
Let's get into it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cero Miedo.
Cero Miedo. M-I-E-R-D-O. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Cero Miedo.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Cool. This is not going to help any Latina Larry shit, by the way. This is only
It probably won't. It probably won't, man. It probably won't, but hey, they probably also gonna jump down my throat like, get it right.
Hey man, look, man, I want y'all to understand, man. If we did not love y'all, like I promise you, like because we don't hate each other, but the week we both have had to get to this point, hey man, like just give us a pass, man. All right,
I'm literally doing a flu game. Yo,
we hurt. I'm doing a migraine game, dog. We hurt. We old. Some of y'all niggas we deal with are fucking children, man. But we are here to make sure that we present the best wrestling podcast experience possible, only with mid-carders and catering. So, hey, man. Give us a goddamn round of applause and listen, man. We are here, dog. We are fucking here, man.
Well, outside of rounds of applause that I want to give myself or even you, I want to give a round of applause to Penta, man. Penta, look, I don't have to go break down every show by every show right now. I really don't, because I just want to talk about what I think is cool and what stood out to me and everything of that matter. And we wasn't here for the week that Penta debuted.
Nah.
But however, I was fully locked into his debut, and listen, this dude, the last two Raw on Netflixes has given us two bangers back to back. First with Chad Gable, then this past week with Pete Dunne.
My boy, man.
Man,
my boy.
Yeah, dude. Like, these dudes have been doing wrestling master classes the last 2 weeks. Penta has just been it's so cool, bro. Like, Penta is just really, really cool. I actually did enjoy him a lot in AEW too, for the matches that I was able to get to watch over there.
If someone said he was the best thing over there, I wouldn't argue it.
No, I kind of want to say he was, really. Like,
I mean, especially considering where, he came from, like, for most of us,
even though he was stuck in trios over there. But
True.
yeah,
But for the most part, most of us know Penta from one of two places. You either know him from his short stint in Impact during the dark days.
on the ugly days, the
Shout out
New
to him.
Japan days, and
Shout out to him
Pentagon
and
Jr.
shout out to him and LA Knight, known as Eli Drake back then, getting out of those situations. Because my God, 2018 Impact is something else. Shout out to Marcel. He was there for our watch along on the last Patreon episode, and he has been an Impact watcher himself. So salute to him for putting himself through that torture. Because my God, but either that or Penta from Lucha Underground, which Lucha Underground was in syndication for so long because the tapings took forever to happen and for it to come out. So for him to come from that and put on the show that he did, listen, man, I saw John Moxley, I saw Bryan Danielson, I saw Adam Cole, I saw most of the talent that they had already from other promotions. For him to come over and do what he did, honestly, he did the best he could with Punk at that time. He did the best with you can't say him and Ray Phoenix didn't have a classic match with the Young Bucks. You can't say the trios matches weren't phenomenal. So the one thing I really wanted from him that he didn't get over there, that his brother got a little bit, was singles run. Show me singles Pentagon. We haven't seen singles Pentagon in really 6 years. So the fact that we got it, and I mean, yeah, it was the worst kept secret in wrestling, but that entrance, man, I just was like, dog, when that fire hit, I was like, we here, dog. To do that in San Jose, where a lot of independent guys make their bones in San Jose. That's a big indie wrestling town.
Bailey, one of them.
Yeah, Bailey. And I mean, even on the indies, like New Japan does a lot of they just did a show there about, the Valley. They really did it. The Latino crowd went crazy for him for his debut.
Seeing his family out there was really, really cool too. For them, it was a really amazing moment for them, especially seeing seeing Pops go from where he went to now he's finally at the biggest stage of them all. It's almost like it's the Super Bowl for them. You know what I'm saying? Saying it was just a very, very proud moment. And then all the way down to the first promo he laid, and it was very, very inspirational and very, very full circle moment, especially for him. It goes to show you that these guys and ladies, they look at WWE as the biggest stage of them all. I think that there's this consensus out there that everybody gets this anti WWE kick thing, and they fuck WWE. I'm staying indie because indie is the true heart of everything. But when they get to WWE, it's like a whole. It's actually the complete opposite. You know what I'm saying? It's them man, all my hard work in the indies finally paid off.
Because what else? And then you look at somebody like Pentagon, for example, bro. Penta. What else was there for him to do? He literally won every title you could with AAA.
Yeah.
He went to MLW and was still presented as a top wrestler there, even though he was in the tag team. Won the Impact Championship. Went to AEW and reached a ceiling because they weren't going to give him a singles run over there. And I do think that part of his run now has been tapered because his brother isn't there yet. But we know Penta has singles potential. So literally he went and wrestled everywhere you could possibly think of, dog, even down to PWG. He's been everywhere. So
yeah, he's done it all, man. So it's just, and he's only 36.
Nah, Penta's that's
30.
the key thing. Penta's about to be 40 next month. So
he's going to be 4. Oh, he's 39.
yeah, he'll be
Okay.
40 on the 26th. Now, Ray Phoenix just turned 34.
Okay.
Ray Phoenix is December 30th, so he just turned 34. But that's even more credence to him making that decision because, okay, if I've done everything I can, I'm 40, and 40 now does not look like how 40 did when we were younger. So, due to, conditioning and things of that nature. So, why not? If I had to compare this to somebody that wasn't familiar with Penta, this is literally like AJ Styles coming over in 2016.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for
That's what
luchas.
it feels like.
That's
Yeah, but for
literally what it
Lucas, for
is.
sure.
Yeah. And what's even funny about him in this whole presentation is what is the main thing he's been saying? Thank you for letting me work for you guys. That's been his whole thing. Thanks. I am happy to be here. Like, bro. And it's beautiful because in today's WWE, these guys can still make money with merch opportunities outside of the company. It doesn't have to be necessarily something sold on Fanatics. Him and his brother still have other things going. I've seen Ray and Punk get Roots of Fight collab tees and other collabs going off. Bro, I just saw, unrelated to this, I just literally saw another Slim Jim commercial. They updated it. Now it's Jey Uso in LA Knight. So, bro, you have opportunities to get money with WWE, man. And I mean, the ring work was great. Just seeing his daughters, especially his youngest daughter, be so happy to see her dad, in WWE. And, she ain't got a lot of kids at school. I'm like, oh, I don't watch WWE shit. Like, nah, they ain't got a lot no more, man. Like, yeah. And it really brings in perspective of like you said, somebody completing that journey, getting to the big stage. And now we're at the point where like, this is what we're experiencing after 2 weeks. 2
weeks on Netflix.
I'm gonna argue the match he had this past Monday was better than the Gable match. I'm willing.
Yeah. I can say that. I think the first match was like we are trying to, you're trying to introduce the crowd to who you are. It went long, which no problem with that. Which I'm glad was shut down very quickly because, again, stop listening to the internet and whatever people are saying.
Please.
Like these matches are already laid out. They're already given their time. They're already told how much time to take up, what to do in that match, and everything of that matter. It's already practiced and everything of that sort. But
yep.
Just figuring, a lot of people have not seen Penta wrestle before, especially that WWE crowd. So you wanted to see him really open up that playbook and introduce like those signature moves that he does and the spectacular things that he's capable of doing with his body and everything of that nature. So, but that was a really nice introduction. This past week was, he was in the bag. Finally, I'm in the bag now. I can go crazy. And I don't think, again, not taking nothing away from Gable at all either, but another great dancing partner in Pete Dunne. I mean, I don't think that you could go any wrong with that.
Again, this is the time where a guy can quote unquote lose a match and still look great, bro.
It still look great. Yeah.
Pete Dunne looks fucking phenomenal out there, dog. Like, and I feel like there will be a payoff for his hard work too, because he's been one of those people like, all right, we ain't really got nothing for you for real, but let's just get through this moment right now while we cook up something for you. It'll be your turn soon.
Well,
so
the other thing about Pete is that Pete produces behind outside of like doing his matches, outside of performing his matches, he also produces matches. So you got to remember that too, like where it's not necessarily we ain't got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? It's more so like, oh, he's making himself useful by taking the reins on producing a match. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that he actually produced a match between him and Penta, because I believe the first match Penta was produced by Jamie Noble.
Jamie Noble. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the match between Pete Dunne and Penta was actually produced by Pete Dunne. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about WWE that I love is that you hear guys tell stories about Heyman and Hunter and some of these other guys that's really running the show now. Even back then, showing wrestlers like, let me show you what this is going to look like when you aren't wrestling. Because remember, Triple H learned how to produce, and he was still an active wrestler. He going back to like the 2010s, like he's been, you know. So it's good to see Pete Dunne doing that. I was just saying that in the regard of, you know, Pete Dunne's been on the main roster for a little while now, but again, not everything is going to be instant, and sometimes it takes a slow burn for guys to get over. But you know, right now, we're in that excitement stage, and Penta has delivered 2 for 2.
Yeah.
And it's like the fact they got him in here now, there's no telling what next week, let alone Saturday night's main event, let alone Rumble, let alone WrestleMania looks like for him. And that's a good thing because it means his future is really bright. So I'm very, very happy with the presentation. And for everybody listening, if you haven't, go watch that behind the scenes video they put on YouTube of him, you know, getting prepared for his entrance, and you know, even Triple H's Twitter showing like, you know, hey,
showing
put
how
this
it
here.
should go, and yeah.
And that shit was crazy, man. This past week, I was like, okay, I wonder if they're gonna do the fire again. But when they had that pyro, the spinning jump, I was like,
you got the full. Nah,
we here.
I can't wait till they come back to like Detroit.
Oh yeah.
What they bring usually we get SmackDown a lot, but hopefully we get Raw.
I want to go to Raw specifically.
Yeah, I want to go
to
Raw
Penta,
specifically. I want to go to Raw for sure.
Yeah.
Next go around. Transfer news. Bailey and Nia Jax both seem to have been transferred to Raw. They also had a match this past week. Real banger. Looks like they got some stuff going on with Rhea in between all that, because Nia attacked Rhea like literally as Raw was coming on. Yeah, I remember that taking off. That was pretty cool. But Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre closed out Raw.
Correct.
Really, really fire match. I mean, come on, like what else could you expect from Seth Rollins and Drew? But you know, interesting to note that some Sami Zayn was sprinkled in there too. Also, Kevin Owens pops up on the Raw.
Yeah.
To talk to Sammy.
Yeah, with this transfer window, it's been a lot of stuff that's been taking place on SmackDown that's kind of spilling over to Raw lately as we get into Rumble season, because you know, Bailey had a phenomenal match with Tiffany Stratton, but Tiffany finally beat her, and there was story in there because Tiffany had never beaten Bailey. So it was kind of okay, Bailey, you've lost. Now it's time to go to Raw to redo your whole thing, which she's also, we're going to talk about her just a little bit later. But Nia Jax, I mean, you wondered what was next for Nia Jax. Here we are, you know. So, and then with Cody and KO, they set up stipulations for that. But KO and Sammy, I mean, we were eventually going to get here, dog. So, I mean, we're here now.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting because it's, you know, the whole bloodline dynamic and how it spills out into the fractures of like KO into Drew McIntyre and even to Seth. You know, it's like they're not wrong.
No,
they're not right. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not wrong feeling the way that they feel. Like this is like very unique storytelling because it's like, in a way, it's like Roman. Yeah, he's back. Yeah, he's beloved. Yeah, he's this, but it's like,
but he hasn't changed.
He hasn't changed. Like, and how dare y'all forget about the last 3 years of like how he was moving around
war with this man,
with this, and all of a sudden everybody's want to be all, they want to help Roman. Man. They want to get kumbaya with Roman. They want to get buddy with Roman. They want to help him.
Freaking thing that we all said was the toxic thing to our environment.
Like we want to get him the Ula Fala back. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really KO's whole issue with Cody right now, is that
it's same thing with Drew.
Like we helped you get this belt at WrestleMania last year, and you mean to tell me within months you're gonna sit up here and tag with Roman to go against his cousins? That's a Roman problem. That's not your problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just very, very interesting, this whole dynamic of like these fractures, because it's like no one is fully turned. I would say that KO's turned.
Oh yeah.
But like, and Drew is an asshole. But Seth is not
yet
turned.
But it's close.
Seth is not turned.
It's getting close.
Drew's had a CM Punk thing going on and everything of that matter, but it's just, it's very, very interesting. Like these stories being told.
And they keep reminding Sammy, like, what you gonna do? Like, you gonna keep getting your ass whooped by us over Roman? Like, that's what you want to do? Because look, he lost us. I mean, Seth beat him, Drew beat him twice. So it's like, will Sammy finally start looking out for Sami Zayn? I mean, and that's even ties into, the world heavyweight storyline right now, where it's like,
with Jey Uso.
With Jey Uso and Gunther. So it's like, what are you truly gonna do? So we'll see, man. I think that KO walking around with this championship, I didn't know I was going to laugh this hard, but it's just so fucking funny that he's really like taking this shit serious. Like, no, I am the champion. Like, bro, I mean, to the point where Nick Aldis is like, look, man, like, we're going to have you, y'all going to sit down. It's San Antonio. We're going to bring Shawn Michaels out. If KO super kicks or does anything to Shawn Michaels, I'm going to be in tears because, Shawn wants to go, but Shawn really don't want to go at the same time. So that'll be hilarious, especially considering that KO's holding his title. KO's holding the belt that Shawn made famous, that all of us wanted as kids. That wing, that specific winged eagle. So, hey, man, I'm all for it. I think people are kind of glossing over that match for Rumble, but I think KO and Cody are going to have a great ladder match with all kind of shenanigans at the Rumble for sure. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But
also, I think while we were also gone, Lyra Valkyria is the women's WWE Intercontinental Champion.
That was a really good match.
Really great match between her and Dakota Kai.
That suplex off the apron was insane.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That was fire.
Yeah, that was fire. I think Dakota and Io might be on a nice little run here. I don't know if they're going to be challenging for the women's tag titles anytime soon. I don't really know where that's going to go. I imagine that you just got what? I'm sorry.
I said I would imagine that they're going to be an interesting storyline because Kyrie will be back soon, and if you pay attention to social media, it looks like Miss Asuka might be back soon too.
But I mean, not to rope them into that title. The tag titles thing, because I feel like Dakota probably might not be done in terms of like that Intercontinental Championship thing. Like, I think her and Lyra may go at it again at some point, because you got to give substance to that title. You got to start getting some matches going. I think right now they're still trying to figure out this runtime thing of Raw on Netflix. The last 2 episodes have ended at like 10:30 Eastern time, so they haven't gone the full 3 hours.
since the
But I
debut.
think Hunter is trying to find that sweet spot right now to where it's where it'll be shelled out to where we'll see that mid card title being defended soon
Yeah.
enough. I mean, it's only been a week, so it's not like a big deal.
Which I'm not mad at either, because I mean, let's think about it. We had 2 hours. We had 3 long time, before. Now we're getting in a spot where it's like, okay, all the unnecessary stuff
Mhm.
can kind of filter out. But also, let's not forget that we have, when they did the 2 hours, they strategically did that so more people would pay attention to WWE social media as far as angles and storylines are concerned. So if you missed out what was going on, if you really just pay attention, you'll see like, okay, New Day might not be on this week, but
they did something after the show or something
Cross
like
and
that.
his
Yeah.
group, people like that. Even though it did suck, and I mean, shout out to Dragon Lee for addressing this craziness. But why wasn't he helping Rey Mysterio? Well, brother, he just had a kid. Okay, like
He's at home.
Shout him being a honorable family man. I mean, for God's sakes, he wrestled with his dad and his brothers. So I wouldn't imagine he wouldn't be a family man. Like, why would I not imagine that? But anyway, yeah, it's an interesting time slot they're in right now. But I'm liking the 2.5 hours, man. Like, hey, get in, give us what we need, let the main event have its moment to breathe, and we out of there.
Yeah.
We out of there. So
also, shout out to CM Punk for having a wonderful moment and burying Hulk Hogan in a promo. And shout out to all you other idiots who think he was going off script. Again, nothing gets cleared. Nothing gets said without it being cleared.
I told y'all before, man, when we came last episode, brother, I truly believe Hunter is literally getting his get back on Hogan. And it's just like, okay, I know that these sponsors and everybody who asks us about WWE asks about you. So I'm going to put you out there, but I know you're going to get booed beyond comprehension. So, hey, go out there. Like, you are the one person, you and Flair, I'll trot y'all asses out there until I can't do it no more. And then that's it. But hey, man, if it was that bad, you would have definitely, his mic would have been cut, bro. So, yeah. No.
Yeah, and then, like, again, it's just, and then he just says it so eloquently. He just said, you put Hulk Hogan in the Royal Rumble, I'll throw his dusty ass over the top rope, and I'll kill Hulkamania once and for all. And that just puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Because, fuck Hulkamania. Fuck Hulk Hogan. All that shit's whack. It's ass. Yeah, go to hell. But yeah, shout out to CM Punk. Punk is just, again, on a roll, man. On a roll. Can't wait to see Punk wrestle again. I'm assuming that it'll probably, right now we're getting all the Royal Rumble entries all together. So expect probably one of the most bloated Royal Rumbles.
It's
ever.
Bloated now. I mean,
like, just everyone.
Ray, because Ray announced it when he was in San Diego on SmackDown. Ray, Seth, Drew, Punk, Roman, Cena.
Roman.
I mean, there's no telling what random, callback entry there'll be. There's no telling what random potential possible TNA talent may come over. There's no telling what NXT talent might pop in there. So,
or who may be returning. Hopefully AJ Styles will be back. Hopefully we may see AJ. I don't know.
Yeah, you could see. I mean, the one that kind of perked my ears up. This is your man's. That boy Dragunov been that PC, man.
Oh yeah, he's been in the PC. The machine, the Russian machine himself, Ilya Dragunov, is back at the PC. Jade Cargill also back at the PC.
Jade said, Jade said, word. All right.
Yeah. Hey man,
that Jade pop, man. Hey man, it's a couple random pops that y'all might not be expecting, man. This is gonna be one of the more fun Rumbles, man. And I feel like last year's was fun too because we were kind of like, damn, are they really gonna give it to Cody or are they gonna give it to Punk? You know, and now this time it's like, all right, we genuinely don't know the direction of anything. I mean, even with the world heavyweight title situation right now, it's like, if Jey Uso gets the title, is it the most surprising thing in the world, given the popularity, given how over he is? Nah, I mean, especially because Jay's wrestled for that title, what, 3? This will be the 3rd time because he lost to Priest.
He lost it to Priest. He lost to Gunther. So, yeah, this will be a 3rd
I feel
time.
like he lost to Seth in between that time, too, but I could be wrong.
I don't think he wrestled Seth. I don't think so.
But, I mean, hey, in general, he's been in prominent position.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's only so many more times he can keep on losing before that. And actually he did. This was December of last year. I mean, 2023. So he did wrestle
World Heavyweight
Seth.
Championship.
Yeah, because Seth was still the champion. No, Seth didn't lose till Mania. This was in between.
Or was it non-title?
No, it was for the title. It was on Raw. It was on Raw. Because what happened was, and the reason I remember this was right after War Games and in between the whole Rumble situation, because, you know, we knew Punk was probably going to be the final 2 in the Rumble. We just didn't know what was going to happen. But remember, Seth got hurt right after that Uso match because him and Drew had a match and Seth got hurt. And we didn't know if Seth was going to make it to WrestleMania. Yeah. So, like, the hope was Seth would make it to Mania and Punk would just naturally, you know, maybe win the Elimination Chamber or something like that. And then we would have got them then. But Punk tore his pec.
His pec. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So this is Jey Uso's 3rd crack at that. And yeah, we'll see what happens this Saturday night's main event.
Yeah. And then, you know, right before we get into that Saturday night main event, real quick, just want to shed a quick light over the New Day. Keep going, please. Just keep going. Keep going. Kofi, keep your mustache shaved. Just keep going, because I'm enjoying the laughs I'm getting from this.
You know,
Kofi and Ray had a banger on Monday.
They did. Am I crazy for saying that this has been the most promising the tag division as a whole has looked in a long time? Because like on SmackDown, the Motor City Machine Guns, like they just had a great match with the Garza's cousins, and like even War Raiders finally getting those titles. But I mean, this new development for New Day, bro, like this is the best shit they've done. I can't even think of how many years, bro. It's been like a while since I've been this thoroughly interested in the New Day, man. Like this heel turn, bro, just everybody hates them and they're leaning into it so fucking great, dog. Like yeah, shout out to them, man. I can't wait to see what the payoff with all of this is.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep it going. Just keep going. Please, it's great. The crowd is invested. I think it's really funny. But yeah, keep it going. But yeah, I just want to kick it over to Saturday night main event. Before we get out of here.
Sure.
NXT wasn't like, it wasn't too much going on NXT. That's why
it was a transitional show.
It's a transitional show. Bailey has been frequently in NXT a lot lately. I mean, it's clear as day that she's going to be facing Roxanne Perez at some point.
It's the only thing with Bailey is I know she's on the Raw roster now, but I kind of feel like she's on the Raw roster to typically just.
She's doing some natty duty right now. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to legit be the same exact thing that Becky did.
Yeah.
When she went down to NXT and was doing that with Lyra to help get Lyra prepared for the main roster.
Main roster's getting Roxanne prepared. That's all.
Yeah, it's gonna be a quick 2-month thing. Now I will say Bailey and Roxanne is something that we all pretty much knew was gonna happen. But Bailey Julia, whoo, might be a match to look out for.
Yeah.
I don't know what Bailey's gonna be doing Mania this year, but I mean, hey, if it's having a high profile level match of that nature, I'm not mad at it one bit. But yeah, her and
yeah, she wrestles at Stand and Deliver. That's great. I mean,
yeah, because Bailey hasn't wrestled in NXT since
she's probably
Hugger
left.
since
Yeah,
Hugger days. I mean, I know there was that weird time in the pandemic where her and Honda were going against Asuka and Kyrie, because but again, we were indoors. Like there wasn't anything. It was So really, to me, her last NXT, was when she was still hugging people every week. So yeah, this would be a great match to have, and it's also a good spotlight for Cora, Roxanne, and Julia as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they booed the shit out of them too. By the way, they've got natural heat. Roxanne and Cora Jade, like they yeah. So salute to them.
And Stephanie is on Cora's ass.
Stephanie. I mean,
I'm sorry. She's on Fallon Henley's ass.
She's on.
Yeah.
Timing. Like
she on demon time.
She and that bitch like Debo, and I love it. Shout out to Stephanie Valkyrie, man. For sure.
But yeah, we're gonna jump over to the Saturday night main event card real quick, because that is taking off this coming Saturday.
Live from San Antonio, Texas.
We got the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Gunther versus Jey Uso. We got the WWE Women's World Championship match. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. We have the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. Somebody we haven't seen in quite some time. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. We have a contract signing with Cody Rhodes and KO, with Shawn Michaels moderating on SmackDown this Friday. They got
it's gonna be at Saturday night's main event.
Oh, it's gonna be at Saturday night.
Yeah, it's in San Antonio.
So they're gonna be doing their match at Royal Rumble, I assume.
Yeah. Okay. That's gonna be a ladder match. A ladder match is gonna be at Royal Rumble. Yep.
Okay. And then you got Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Yo, shout out to Jacob Fatu. Like perfect timing on giving Jacob a spotlight with Solo walking out, getting booed out the ring, and Jacob taking the mic and delivering that promo. Yeah, that lets you know Jacob is next. They're getting Jacob ready.
And also good. I mean, I know Strowman would have been back, but he was dealing with the flu. He said he lost like 20 pounds, 30 pounds, something crazy. Yeah. And he was gone for a couple of weeks, but this just helps, keeps LA Knight in a program outside the US title. It keeps attention on Braun Strowman. Yeah. It keeps Tama Tonga, shout out to my boy, busy. And we get what we've wanted, which is more singles Jacob Fatu action. Now, where that leads, who knows? I don't care. I'm happy to see him in the ring.
I just want to see Jacob wrestle.
And him and Braun is a good litmus test to see, like, okay, where are we finna take this? And I think they might steal the show Saturday.
I think you got two big back invitationals, 3 on this card. Like you got Braun Breaker and Sheamus, Rhea and Nia is gonna go crazy. Braun Strowman and Jacob is gonna go crazy. So honestly, like the weakest match here looks like Gunther versus Jey Uso, honestly.
And that's the thing. Is that the weakest match? Is that the weakest match? Because I mean, shit.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know, because
we'll see.
I think Rhea and Nia is gonna give us some heat. Braun Breaker and Sheamus is gonna be a banger. Braun Strowman and I think Jacob Fatu gonna really, really show everybody how versatile he is, no matter if the person's big or small. Gunther is Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't see Jey Uso beating Gunther in
I mean,
this.
I don't either, but I
But
mean,
I think he will give a good match. He'll pull on a few heartstrings in there. But Gunther is Gunther, and Gunther is going to continue his dominance, and hopefully this is leading into the true ending with Gunther with who he's gonna be starting this WrestleMania program with.
yeah, because it's interesting that this match is taking place at Saturday night's main event and not at the Royal Rumble. So right now, we've only got 3 matches for the Rumble. So I would expect just the men, women, and the ladder match. So I would expect SmackDown and Raw leading up to give us a couple more matches to add to this card, maybe 2 more matches, but we will see. Because how many matches did last year only had? What, 5 matches? I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say it was only like 5 at the Royal Rumble. I mean, you had both Rumbles, and then you had maybe maybe a world title match.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
was there a world title match? I
Yeah,
can't
remember it was the fatal 4-way between
right.
Roman, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Seth couldn't wrestle because Seth was injured. So, because he got, like I said, he had that like New Year Raw where he got hurt when he was wrestling Drew. That's why they ran it back later.
Yeah.
But as far as the actual matches go, like the matches where it was 4. So you had Bailey won the Rumble. Shout out to Jade Cargill. That was her in-ring debut. And shout out to Triple H, just like, hey, you see this baddie I got with me? Like, hey, she coming for y'all. So you had Roman in the Fatal 4-way. You had Logan Paul beat KO because they were just so
that match there.
That nasty title run for Logan Paul, who please take that $250 million to go fight Conor McGregor and leave us alone. Please
get the fuck on.
Get the fuck on.
I don't want. Unfortunately, he's gonna be on Raw this coming Monday.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably I'm announcing myself for the Royal Rumble. Yeah, whatever, bro. But yeah, and Cody, of course, won the men's Rumble, which really good match. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, we only got 3 matches. I would venture to believe we'll probably get another U.S. title, if not on there, at least the SmackDown next week. And I would imagine they're gonna find some matches to fill up card time for the Royal Rumble. Maybe a Tiffany Stratton Women's Championship match with somebody. Who knows? But I highly doubt it's only gonna be 3. I'm predicting 4 to 5 matches for next week. But I mean, I think we pretty much got the same predictions. I think everybody in a championship match retains Saturday night main event, and I think I got Jacob going over Braun, but it could. I mean, hey, losing to Braun Strowman
could break the ring.
That would be hilarious as hell. Yeah, but
they could break the ring. They could, who knows, man.
Do some shit that shout out to my guy Bronson Reed could just go backstage and do some crazy shit. Like we'll see. But yeah, and expect Sean to get real. Sean gonna do some bullshit during that.
Sean might do a little acting. We might get a little acting job from Sean this Saturday too. So but yeah, man, that's what we got. Saturday night main event coming. The next time you will see myself and Larry will actually be following the Royal Rumble.
Yes, indeed.
In a post-show presentation for episode 85 Royal Rumble post show. Definitely pull up for that. We are expecting to be live in full effect for that.
And live in color.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so definitely show up for that. Get y'all Royal Rumble parlays laid. If you are one of those people that do that, you probably, but I will say that you have a sickness,
seek help, bro.
Like, if you are laying bets on premeditated pro wrestling.
I'm talking to you, Eve. I'm talking to you, Manny. Seek Winston too. All y'all seek help, man.
Find God, please.
Where is God in this conversation, man?
But you will also be expecting more Patreon content dropping next week.
Absolutely.
As well too, the end of next week. So keep your eyes peeled on that. We'll not say what that is, but it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there for your enjoyment. And also remember that it's only $3. In the meantime, it's only $3. And a $1 tier has started as well too. On the Patreon for those that just want to support the podcast and support the overhead and everything that it takes to create this content every single time we are here recording for your listening and viewing pleasure.
Hey man, this is the new tip jar right here, the mask, bro. Hey man, put the donations in the mask, man. It's gold for a reason, man, because we gold at heart, bro. So you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. $3, $1. Come on, man. And if you want to tip more, you can hit me and AJ on the side. We can make it happen. You feel me? Like
cash apps.
We love gifts and donations and Apple Pay, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, MoneyGram,
all that, man.
Western Union, all that.
Yeah, definitely, man. But man. I feel like that's everything that I have from myself. Larry, do you have anything or anything?
Yeah, man. Again, just make sure you tune in and show your work every Thursday live. We have a lot planned in the next couple of weeks for sure. We are entering in February, which if y'all know how I feel about February, it's an interesting month to say the least. So we got some stuff planned on that front, but check out our Patreon. Just put out 2 bonus episodes. Like I mentioned earlier, the Yacht Rock episode. Shout out to my guy, Caesar, aka Kid Mestizo, and Mariana La Femme Radical, 2 DJs out here in Memphis. And it's a great episode. And also shout out to the homies C's of Jet Life and Marino Infantry Notoriety and B-Wee of Jet Life Notoriety. Just did a bonus episode with them. It's live on all streaming platforms and on our YouTube as well. So make sure you check into that. And also tap into our brothers at Guessing from the Stands. They've been going live every week. They've been consistent, been putting out good sports content. So salute to them. The whole union is coming together. Shout out to the union and everything we have going. And if you could do a favor for me, make sure you follow our union page as well. We do content on that page. I know y'all follow Mid-Carders. I know you follow Show Your Work. I know you follow Guests from Stats. But please make sure to follow our union page on Twitter, on Instagram, on Beacons, on Blue Sky, everywhere, man. Like, just tap into that beacons.ai/the union, man. You want to keep up with us, everything is right there. And we have our personal beacons as well. We'll tap into that beacons.ai/the union. And that's it, man. Nothing else I can really think of, man. Shout out to Canelo and Bud for getting made, but we'll probably talk about that another time.
We'll definitely tap into that very, very soon. Radio MIC. And man. With that being said, we're out of here. We're done. See you soon. Enjoy the Royal Rumble. Peace. Thank you for listening to Mid-Carders and Catering Podcast, a weekly podcast focused on pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Mid-Carders and Catering Podcast is created and executive produced by Amir Johnson. Music, Miami Boulevard by Offbeat Ninja and Maple by Blair North. Special thanks goes out to Show Your Work Network and Guessing from the Stands podcast. Mid-Carders and Catering is powered by the Union.